So this is gonna be the first new video on my new boxing channel. Yeah, that's a milestone also. Well, as you probably know, you who really follow boxing, we're gonna have a big card next the week after, of course, on the 12th. But before we get to that, there are also a couple of fights happening this week and weekend. So first of them is in Australia on Friday, October the 4th, and it's a IBF middleweight championship fight. And Johnny Beck Alimkhanuly is defending the title because he got stripped of the WBO title. I don't know why. He's defending IBF title against his full name Andrei Mikhailovich, right? So Mikhailovich is based in Australia, despite being obviously of Russian descent, I believe. Just gonna check that out. Yes, he is of Russian descent. He is a rather new face, in boxing. He's 26 years old, and he has won a couple of minor titles before. Um, yeah, actually, he is in New Zealand. Sorry, not in Australia. But this fight will be in Australia, in Sydney. And Johnny Beck himself is based in Oxnard, so yeah, quite a long journey for him. So this guy Mikhailovich hasn't had a real significant fight yet, but he's 21 and 0 with 13 KOs, and he's of the same height as Alimkhanuly, but also has got a 3-inch reach advantage, almost 2.5. And so that will be interesting. But he's an orthodox, and Johnny Beck is a southpaw. Yes. I think Johnny Beck is just obviously probably a class above this guy, and he's fought better opponents also already. Even though his best wins, one might argue, came against guys that were no longer in their prime, such as Hassan Najikam and Stephen Butler. One might argue also. He won the IBF title last year in October against unknown Vincenzo Gualtieri, who was also unbeaten. But the middleweight division being as weak as it is at the moment, it doesn't really mean much when somebody is like 21 and 0, And especially if that someone has fought in Australia or New Zealand primarily, which isn't exactly the hotbed of boxing, despite having produced some notable talents. But what I expect here is that Johnny Beck will dominate this fight, maybe even win by a stoppage, but we'll see. It may well go the distance, but I don't see Mikhailovich winning. If he does, it will just be a sign that he is a major talent, and yeah, but I really don't expect him to win. As I said, despite Alimkhanuly, Johnny Beck, being 31, he's still in his prime. So yeah, I hope he after this gets a fight against one of the other big names like Adames. Yeah. So or even Hamza Shiraz. Why not? Or Chris Eubank Jr. So yeah, that was that fight. I think, of course, Johnny Beck will win either by knockout or decision. I think most likely it is that because of the inexperience also of Mikhailenko, even though Russian fighters are known for their toughness. So probably if the knockout happens, it won't be early on, definitely. All right, so then we go to Liverpool Arena on this Saturday, and we got Nick Ball actually fighting again. Yay! He is a crowd pleaser. Yep, for sure. He's fighting Ronnie Rios, who is a seasoned veteran, who, as far as I could hear, had retired, I believe, or was intending to, but now he's back. Yeah, he was stopped in the last round in 22 by Murodjon Ahmadali, and he was in fight for almost 2 years. And this year, this year he came back and won by knockout against Nicolas Polanco. Nick Paul is still undefeated at 20-0-1. That one was a draw, which many thought was unfair against Ray Vargas. And he's got 11 knockouts. Not really a puncher, but more of a guy who wears you out, and stops you late if he stops you. So yeah, he's got a few 12th round TKOs. And yeah, I thought, of course, that he should have won the fight against Ray Vargas, and that was a shame because it was for the WBC title. So since then, he impressively won against Raymond Ford in June this year. But some people, man, it was an unfair decision. I didn't think so. Thought it was fair. It was close, but I thought Ball snatched it. So yeah, and he's still at 27 in his best years. Only 5'2", as you know. Ronnie Rios has a significant advantage, but who doesn't? At featherweight, he's 5'7", but he's 34 years old, 7 years older, and he's only got a slight 2-inch reach advantage, not that much for such a height advantage. So yeah, I mean, I don't think Ronnie Rios will, I'm sure, give a Ball a good fight, a good challenge, but I don't really favor him at all. I favor Nick Ball to win this fight because he's just, sheer aggression and speed, and yeah, really hard to deal with. So, so far only, of course, Ray Vargas has managed to kind of get away, let's say, without being really either knocked out or really dominated. But I thought that he also should have lost that fight. Yeah, it was close, but I thought Ball was slightly better there. And yeah, he had him in trouble also, Vargas, a few times. So even though he's not a big puncher, as I said, he does have, some pop in his fists, definitely. He does. He just isn't that, bang, that kind of concussive puncher with one or two or three punches. So yeah. Yeah, so I expect this, I don't know, it may go the distance, maybe. Ronnie Rios is a tough guy, but he has been stopped before, and I don't know really. Maybe not on second thought. He has been stopped 3 times, so yeah. I don't know if it's really wise of him to come back, but this fight will show that, definitely. So Nick Ball is the favorite, definitely. And he may even stop Rios. So I don't know. So I stopped making these predictions because sometimes it's just unfair. You cannot really know. Yeah. So all right. And one more fight that's happening on Wednesday, the next week on the 9th. It is Chris Colbert versus Omar Salcido. Alright, this is interesting. Yeah, I mean, Chris Colbert is a pretty talented guy, even though he's got two losses. And I don't know if this guy Salcido is unfamiliar to me. I mean, Chris Colbert lost by knockout in his last fight. That was almost a year ago, against Jose Valenzuela. But yeah, he beat people like Jezreel, sorry, and Miguel Beltran and Alberto Mercado. So yeah, this guy Omar Salcido Gomez, his full name is, he's got one loss. So yeah, this is gonna be a good fight. I can see it, action-filled fight, because Chris Colbert is he's not a puncher, but he's still quite aggressive and like an action fighter, more or less. Yep, that he is. So yeah, I think Colbert will win this fight on points. Yeah, yeah, I think that was it for this weekend. Early next week, of course, next Saturday on the 12th, we're gonna have a really nice card in London. Or sorry, it's not in, where is it? No, it's in Riyadh. Oh, right, okay. Of course. So yeah, anyway, that was it for this time, and I'll see you soon, alright? Enjoy your fights. Bye.